Welcome to another live lesson from Digital DJ Tips, the world's leading online DJ school. So this lesson is a great one if you're thinking of buying a DJ controller over £1,000, euros, dollars. In other words, spending a lot of money. Because in this lesson, I'm going to cover the 7 controllers that we think are the best ones right now in 2023 for you if you are looking at spending this kind of money. It might be that you're just someone who wants to start near the top, or you are looking to upgrade from something a little bit cheaper. Now, this is a considered opinion of a DJ school that's been running for well over 10 years. We've got full reviews of every single one of these units on the Digital DJ Tips website, including video reviews, mostly done by myself. So you are not getting a SEO farm article here. You are not getting someone who's never seen these things or used these things. We've not only seen them, but we work with the manufacturers and we teach how to use these things. So you've stumbled over the right place. If you are looking for this information, look no further. But of course, if you're one of our regulars, welcome to the lesson. You're probably watching the recording of this. And if you are watching the recording of this, you can still ask questions, do so underneath wherever you're watching the recording. But if you're one of the lucky few people who's with us on the live show, then you can ask questions at the end. So do ask them. So, right, let's get started. Now, there's an article on the Digital DJ Tips website that supports this, and you can find this over at digitaldjtips.com. The best way to find anything on the Digital DJ Tips website is to click the little magnifying glass in the top corner and just search. So in this instance, we want our DJ controllers over 1,000. So I'm just going to search for 1,000, and there you go. The very first thing that comes up there is our best DJ controllers over $1,000 for 2023. And so this is the article that supports what you are seeing now. You can go and look at this anytime you want. We're going to look at the best overall controller for Serato, the best motorized jogwheels controller, the best for high-tech features, the best overall for Rekordbox, the most portable motorized jogwheels controller, the best value software controller and standalone combo. I'll talk to you about the difference between standalone and software controllers in a minute, and the closest controller that you can get to a full club setup. In other words, to something that you would find in a nightclub. So that is what you're going to get today here live with me. And as I say, if you've got any questions about this, just ask away. Live or on the recording, we'll get to you somehow and my team will help you. Right, shall we get started? Firstly, I want to talk to you about 2 things. Firstly, what to expect at this price point, and secondly, what we mean by DJ controller, because at this price point, things start to get blurred. So when you're down at the bottom end of the market, which is a great place to be, by the way, we always recommend people start down there. When you're buying something, and I'm so surrounded by expensive controllers here, I haven't got anything cheap just to hold up while I'm saying this. Oh, we've got one behind me. These aren't that cheap, actually. This is quite a nice small controller. But anyway, it will illustrate my point. When you're down at this end of the market, these boxes do one thing. They control the software that's running on your laptop, and that's it. They don't do anything else. They've actually got an audio interface in them, which gives you your headphones and your microphone. But, your microphone input, your headphones, and your speakers output. But that's it. They don't have anything else in them. They've not got computers in them. They've not got mixers in them, so you can't plug your turntables in and use them without the computer. They're just a box for controlling your software. They're a controller. And that is very, very typical at that end of the market. When you start to go up, though, things get a little bit more interesting and maybe slightly more complicated, because when you start to go up, then these devices have more than one use. They might work on their own without a computer plugged in, running Serato, Rekordbox, Tractor, whatever. They might also work as mixers, so you can plug in your turntables and use them. They might even work with built-in effects and so on that are completely independent of your DJ software. So things start to blur a bit. In this lesson, we're talking about using them for controlling DJ software. But we will feature some units that have got some of those other functions as well. So just bear that in mind. We've got separate articles and separate videos that cover what we call standalone or all-in-one DJ units, where you don't need to use your laptop at all with them, and also that cover the mixer functions and so on. This is about stuff that you buy because you want to control your DJ software, usually Serato or Rekordbox, sometimes Tractor or Virtual DJ. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to get really clear here is that at this price point, you're going to be expecting a lot more. You're going to be expecting really professional inputs and outputs. As I said, the ability to plug in turntables and CDJs, but also balanced outputs so that you can have it plugging straight into PA systems and maybe have a booth output, record outputs, split cues and stuff like that. All the stuff that you see on professional DJ equipment, professional mixers and so on, you will also expect to see on higher end DJ gear. And you'd expect it to feel more like using professional DJ gear as well, because ultimately it's a professional take on DJ controllers, on things that nonetheless also control your software. So having covered that, let's have a look at the units that I want to cover today. And we're going to start off, you're going to enjoy watching me wrestling with these units here, because I've kind of assembled them all around me, but they're still quite heavy. Which I think I haven't got one of them, but anyway. So you're going to enjoy watching me trying to get them onto the desk and so on, because they are big and heavy at this price point. So our best DJ controller over £1,000 for Serato DJ software. By the way, when I say pounds, I also mean euros and dollars. They're all four figures, whatever currency you're using out of those three. Is this one here. It is the Rane 4. Now the Rane 4 is for Serato, so this is our best overall for Serato. It's got 4 channels. It's got large static jog wheels. They're not motorized, but they're really big and they're really nice. And it's got very good built-in hardware effects. So these are separate to Serato's effects. You can also control Serato's effects as well. And it's got control for what's called stems, for real-time separating the drums from the bass, from the instruments, from the vocals on your tracks. And that makes it a really compelling device right now. This is the one to beat for Serato in our view. It is not a cheap unit. And also one of the other limitations is, although it's got 4 channels, you can only plug in external stuff on 2 of the channels, which is a little bit stingy. I'd like to have seen the ability to plug 4 external things in, but that is a small thing. It's got the most features for Serato software. It's got loads of screens all over the place, screen here, little screens here to show you what's going on with your effects and so on. It's just a really, really well built, nice unit. It's not cheap. I say that's another downside to this. You're not going to get much change out of £2 grand. But if you want arguably the ultimate unit for Serato with all the bells and whistles right now, it is the Rane 4. So if the Rane 4 is the ultimate for Serato, what's the ultimate for Rekordbox? Well, in true TV fashion, I'm going to keep you holding on for that one, because next I want to move on to look at the ultimate DJ controller with motorized jog wheels, because these jog wheels here they're not motorized. We're not turning these on here. If you want to see these all turned on, click through to the article and go to our individual reviews. But these aren't motorized. I hit play there. This doesn't go round, right? This is pretty standard. They're static jog wheels. However, on this one here, the Pioneer DJ DDJ-REV7, these are motorized. When you turn this on, these are going to spin round. They've got kind of vinyl on them that feels like using a piece of vinyl, but they've also got jog wheel displays in the middle, which is quite innovative to have that vinyl feel on a motorized jog with the displays in the middle. It's innovative in all kinds of other ways as well. The decks are kind of turned around. You notice how the pitch controls are at the top, so it feels like using scratch gear. The mixer feels like using a scratch mixer because you've got the pads in the middle. This is for Serato as well, and the reason for that, even though it's made by Pioneer DJ, who you would think might be making controllers for Rekordbox, which is their own software, the reason it's for Serato is that Serato is the software to beat for scratch DJs. It's kind of the standard for scratch DJs. So this is a 2-channel, again, that's standard for scratching. 2 channels is quite enough when you're a performance scratch DJ. A 2-channel Serato controller. And it's got pretty much everything you would want for being a scratch DJ with Serato going on here. Now it came out before Serato stems. Again, stems is when you can separate the drums, the vocals, the bass, and the instruments in real time. But you can still get Serato stems to work on this quite simply by switching out one of the pad modes for stems. So you get that as well, although you won't get the stems control that you get on this because this is made for it. But nonetheless, this is a extremely accomplished motorized controller. It is the best scratch controller for Serato at the moment, we would say, and it is also very expensive, or quite expensive anyway. It's nearly 2,000 again. And one thing we didn't like about this actually is that on the back of it, you still need to use a power brick to plug the damn thing in. I think that is wrong. You should have a nice big fat kettle IEC lead on the back here to plug in there and not have to worry about an external transformer. But unfortunately it hasn't got that. You've still got that external brick. But it's again a small thing. So that is our best choice for you if you're looking for a motorized controller. It runs another one very close, which we're going to get onto actually. By the way, if you've just joined us, we're looking at the controllers above 1,000 on this free lesson from Digital DJ Tips, nice and live today, as we always do on a Tuesday. And if you're watching the recording, you can still ask questions, ask underneath. If you're watching live, ask at the end. And we've just looked at the REV7 as the best motorized jog wheel controller out there. We've already said that we think the Rane 4 is the best for Serato. So moving on. What's the best for high-tech features? Well, the best for high-tech features that we're going for is the Denon DJ Prime 4. Now, the Denon DJ Prime 4 is also a standalone DJ unit. And that means that the Prime 4 works without you needing to use a computer if you want. It runs something called engine software. And engine software is really, really good. So engine software will let you just DJ, no laptop, no nothing. But as I said at the beginning, we're talking here about using these units with software. And it turns out that this one here is also a fantastic Serato DJ controller. It's got an awful lot on it. It's really stylish, and actually the pricing is very, very good for the fact that it's standalone with this lovely screen here, and also it works with Serato. It is a great best of both worlds controller. Wonderful for mobile DJs, really, really good microphone inputs, really good zone and booth outputs. It's got great built-in features for pretty much everything. I'd say probably the only thing that might put some DJs off is the fact that the jog wheels are actually quite small. Now, it honestly doesn't worry me how big jog wheels are, as long as they are responsive, but some people do like the kind of bigger jog wheels going on. For instance, on the Rane 4 that we've got over here, they're appreciably bigger than they are over on this one. But generally, we're looking at a powerful and fully featured DJ controller stroke standalone system here. It's great for professional DJing. It's a nice size. It's really, really well built. And if you can put up with those jog wheels, then you're in. Now, this does go a little bit more pricey. It's about $2,500, but again, you're getting the full standalone thing here. So if you want the best of both worlds, it could well be that the Prime 4 is the one for you. So having taken a look at that as our best kind of a hybrid, best standalone with software control, what about Rekordbox? I said I'd keep you hanging on for Rekordbox. What about Rekordbox? Now, for those of you who are watching this, not really knowing too much about how the software kind of sits in the industry, Rekordbox is Pioneer DJ's software. And it's pretty much neck and neck with Serato, which works on a variety of equipment, quite confusingly, as we've already seen, sometimes with Pioneer DJ's equipment as well. And so it is a good platform to go for. Rekordbox would tend to be the one you go for if you want to DJ in clubs, because club gear works with the Rekordbox platform as well as DJ controllers and software. Whereas Serato tends to be the one you go for as an open format DJ, or if you are a scratch DJ and you're not really so worried about having to just turn up in clubs and play without worrying about it, because the club systems are harder to get to work with Serato. So that's kind of the way those two softwares sit in the market. And what's the best overall for Rekordbox? Well, it's one of the ones that I said you can laugh at me as I try and pick it up off the floor down here, because these are all quite heavy, but I will do my best. I will gamely try and grab it for you. It's this one here. Now, you might have seen us talking about this one if you're a follower of Digital DJ Tips quite a lot recently, basically because it's very, very new. It is the Pioneer DJ DDJ Flex 10. Now, the DDJ Flex 10 is a really interesting unit because the Flex 10 is actually a replacement for two existing previous DJ controllers. The DDJ-1000 and the DDJ-1000 SRT, which is the Serato version of the DDJ-1000. Now, when that controller was launched, as long-time viewers of the site, but also long-time DJs will know, it kind of broke the mold. Because DJ controllers existed in a world apart from kind of normal DJing, if you like. The mixers felt different, the jog wheels felt different, the layout felt different. And then Pioneer, a few years ago, launched what they called the DDJ-1000, which was the first software DJ controller that looked and felt like club gear. The big club jog wheels, the layout of the effects and the loop controls at the top, the jog feel so you could have it light or heavy, the big tempo fader just like they have on CDJs, the cues and the play and the pause, everything felt just like using CDJs. The mixer had the effects down here, hardware effects built in. The layout of the mixer with the sound color effects here, all extremely familiar to anyone who's used Pioneer DJ Pro gear. It broke the mold, the DDJ 1000. It wasn't for Serato, it was only for their Rekordbox platform, so then they released one for Serato called the 1000 SRT. Same hardware, just a little bit of different licensing on the built-in firmware, which seemed a bit silly. And now they've kind of corrected that by launching one that works with both Rekordbox and Serato. And that's this one here. It's called the DDJ Flex 10, brand new. Now the Flex 10 is similar in look and feel to the existing DDJ 1000 that it now supersedes and the DDJ 1000 SRT. It works with both Serato and with Rekordbox, although it's better with Rekordbox. And it builds on what the DDJ 1000 achieved. It builds on it in two big ways. Number one, it now works natively with stems, again separating vocals, instruments and drums in this case. It gives you three. It has hardware controls built in to let you do that, and it's got some pretty advanced stems features. That's the first thing. The second thing, which is quite innovative, is that they've added a DMX output. It's here actually, and this means that you can plug your lighting directly in. So we've done a separate video on using the DMX lights with the Flex 10, but just to cut a long story short, it's really easy to plug Pro DJ lights directly into this and use the Rekordbox software to control them, which is a big jump. There's no other DJ controller in the world that's got that on it. So taking the fact that this builds on one of the most popular controllers ever made, the DDJ 1000, it also replaces the DDJ 1000 SRT, another very popular controller, and without breaking anything that those controllers did well, it adds in control of your stems and lighting control. It's a bit of a winner. Again, it's quite expensive. It's just a controller. There's no standalone, and yet you're not going to get much change out of 2000. I think it's coming at about $1,600. So quite expensive, but this is going to be the one to beat when it comes to Rekordbox controllers for the next 10 years. And it gives the Rane 4 a run for its money, even in the Serato world as well. So definitely one to consider. Take a very close look at this one if you're interested in the ultimate DJ controller for Rekordbox. Now, a little bit earlier, we talked about motorized controllers, and I said I've got another motorized controller to show you. Here you really can have a little chuckle at me as I try and pick it up, because trust me, this is a heavy one. And also, I don't know where it is. Where is it? There it is, right, behind me. So this is the Rane One. There you go, I managed it all right, without dropping it. This is the Rane One. So the Rane One, as you can see from the overhead shot, which I haven't zoomed in or out, is actually a little bit smaller than the others. This is our best choice for the most portable motorized jogwheels controller. The Rane One's a lovely controller. It's got the same build quality as the Rane 4 over here. It is nice and high up. You can see how high up this is. It's got big feet, just like you get on a Technics turntable. The jog wheels are really pretty sweet. They are far more like standard vinyl. You've actually got slip mats underneath the jog wheels here that are, they're real slip mats. So this actually feels very, very, very similar to using a normal piece of vinyl with slip mats on a turntable. You've got the strobe lights on the side of the turntable. The layout of it's a little bit more non-standard compared to the Pioneer DJ REV7. So by that I mean that the mixer is not really laid out like any club mixer. There's no turntables that have got buttons underneath like this. So you're going to have to get used to the controller type layout on this. And also the effects are only software effects in Serato as opposed to the REV7 from Pioneer, which has got hardware effects as well. But overall, this is a lovely experience DJing with motorized jog wheels if you want to use it with Serato. And if you want something a bit smaller than the REV7 and you prefer the layout with the pitch faders where they kind of should be, because on the REV7, remember, they're at the top, then this could be the one for you. It certainly gives the REV7 a run for its money. However, it is a little bit fiddly. Like some of the controls, if your hands are big and clumsy, you might just find you're fiddling around a bit in a way that you don't find on the bigger Rane 7. I guess on the bigger REV7. I guess that's what you pay for having a smaller unit. But the Rane One is a very, very nice controller indeed. We're running down our favorite controllers over 1,000. Now, if you've got a question, if you've got some feedback, if you want to say, why have you missed mine out? Please do so. I have the comments live coming in on Facebook and YouTube, and I will be doing my best to get to as many of them as I can at the end of this live lesson. For now, though, we're going to plow on through the lesson. And the next one we're going to go for is our best value software controller and standalone combo. So if you looked at the Prime 4 that I showed you a few minutes ago and thought, I love the idea of having something to control my DJ software, but also has got that standalone option, but the Prime 4 looks like it's a little bit expensive for me. Well, this one, which again is quite recent, could be worth looking at, and it's got a few tricks up its own sleeve as well. This is the Denon DJ SC Live 4. So, oh look, you can see my face in there. Hello. So this has got 4 channels, great. It's got built-in speakers, really good. It's got Wi-Fi built in, so you can DJ without using any music at all and all that stuff because it's a standalone unit. But more importantly for us, it's a Serato controller. And so out of the box, this unlocks and works with Serato DJ Pro. Now, it doesn't have inputs around the back for decks or CDJs or anything like that. It's plastic rather than metal. All of this stuff is because it's compromising in order to give you a price which is a lot lower than the others. You can get this for under $1,300, which if you think about it, for a unit that will not only control Serato with a nice screen and reasonable build quality and so on, but also that's got standalone if you just sometimes don't want to take your laptop out, you just want to DJ, even with Wi-Fi, even like plug into Tidal or Beatport, it's an excellent choice. And these built-in speakers are surprisingly good. So this, and it controls lighting, by the way, as does the Prime 4. So look, you've got a lot for your money here. And at that price, at $1,300, about 1,100 UK pounds, about 1,300 euros, it's an absolute bargain. So if you're looking for a software controller that also has built-in standalone functionality, but isn't going to break your bank, then this is the one for you. Now, we have got one more that we're going to look at before we open to questions. And this is the one, I've been saying it all the way through, but you will probably see me struggle to pick it up. But gamely, I'm going to do what I can. It is, if you haven't already guessed, the Pioneer DJ XDJ-XZ or XZ. And I can almost guarantee that my overhead camera will not be able to show you this one without me doing some live fettling. So let's do that. Let's do some live fettling and try and zoom the overhead camera out so I can show it to you. Here it is. Now you can see how big it is. It's even almost bigger than our desk. But let's just try and squidge it on there. So there we go. I can just about get it in shot. Right, this is a beast. I mean, this is a massive DJ controller, and it is a DJ controller. It's actually best thought of as a DJ controller because even though it's got a built-in screen, even though you can plug USBs into it and DJ off a USB without a laptop, it's actually woefully underpowered for that. You can only use 2 channels standalone, which is poor. However, as a DJ controller, it's absolutely brilliant. It works with Serato, also works with Rekordbox, and it's got pretty much everything you would expect on pro club gear. So we're talking proper pro club jogwheels. I mean, they look small, don't they? But they're not, they're full size. It's just I've had to zoom out to show it to you all. You've got the 2 microphone inputs. You've got a full master output with EQ. Round the back, it's got the whole gamut of inputs and outputs, including Pioneer DJ Pro DJ link, so you can plug in your CDJs and have those as extra decks on the side of this unit if you want, with 4 real decks. It's basically the same, or very, very, very close to using 2 Pioneer DJ CDJs and a DJM club mixer. It's the same size, the look and feel is the same, you've got pretty much all the same effects on it. It's got all the ability to plug things in and out of it, and as I say, to plug in your CDJs and use them as extra decks. If you want something that is the closest DJ controller to a pro club setup, it is the Pioneer DJ XDJ-XZ, with the big caveat that nowadays the size of the screen, the resolution of the screen, the ability to use all 4 channels with standalone, which this can't do, all of these things are starting to look dated. And so I would expect, and a lot of people were expecting, that this was going to be replaced with an XDJ-XZ2 in order to bring it up to date. And maybe it still will, but Pioneer DJ in their wisdom went ahead and launched something called the Opus Quad, which is a wonderful standalone DJ unit, but we're not featuring here because we're mainly talking about using these things as controllers. And so this one here is still a wonderful, wonderful Serato DJ controller. If you want a Serato controller that you can plug all the kinds of stuff in that you see in clubs, that you can use and feels just like using club gear, it looks like using club gear, and then this is still probably the one. Just don't expect it to have modern standalone capabilities because it hasn't got it, and it's very expensive. It's about, I'm going to guess, about $2,500 you can find this one for right now. And so if you're not worried about state-of-the-art standalone stuff, it could still be the one for you. It's certainly got everything you would expect, input and output wise, sound quality wise, and feature wise when it comes to using it in pro club gear. Okay, so we've looked at our 7 favorite controllers here. As I say, there's an article over on Digital DJ Tips, 7 best DJ controllers over $1,000 for 2023. And in this, you can read about all of these units, but more importantly, you can click through to our full written reviews and videos about them all. So the best overall for Serato was the Rane 4, the best motorized jog wheel, DDJ-REV7. The best for high-tech features, the Denon DJ Prime 4. The best overall for Rekordbox, the Pioneer DJ DDJ Flex 10. The most portable motorized jog wheel controller, the Rane One, although portability is not massive as far as considerations go. It's still quite heavy. The best value software controller and the standalone combo is the Denon DJ SC Live 4. And the closest to a pro club setup, the Pioneer DJ XDJ-XZ. So just to show you what I mean by clicking through to our reviews and stuff, if I click through to the Rane 4, for instance, here, then you will see that we've got a full, huge written review of each and every one of these units, along with a video you can click through where I'll talk you through the unit personally as well. So all the information you could possibly need if trying to choose one of these units is there. Right, I've brought the laptop in. If you're watching the recording of this, thank you. I hope the lesson has been useful to you. If you're not already a member of Digital DJ Tips, there's a link on or around here, or just head to the website and click the join link. We'd love to have you as our latest member. You get a copy of our book, but you also get our weekly newsletter, Tuesday Tips, which will help you become a better DJ. It's all free, so please join us, become the latest member of our community. If you are watching that recording and you still want to ask a question, just ask underneath. But if you're live with us now, well, it's time to go over to you. And even if you're watching the recording, that's fine. Keep watching, because any questions, any feedback here is probably going to be really useful to you from our audience. So, bit I always look forward to. Hello everyone. We haven't actually got the usual chat bot doing its job for me today. It wouldn't load. So I'm having to go and get the questions directly from our Facebook page and from our YouTube page. So this is something I'm not used to doing, so I might not be able to get all your questions, but I will try my damnedest to do so. So we have got lots and lots of comments coming in live on YouTube and also on our Facebook. So let's start off by heading over to YouTube. I will try and find the live video. There it is. I don't want to run the video, I just want to look at your questions. So here we go. Oh yeah, loads of them. Right, let's do it. Hello to Bill. Bill says, I've got a DDJ 1000, a Flex 6, an SC Live 4 and a Prime 4. Wow, Bill. And for different reasons, I really love them all, but I enjoy my Live 4 the most. So there we go. Bapjap says, Phil, does Vestax make DJ gear anymore? A buddy of mine is selling his Vestax gear, and I'm very interested, but it's on the older side, a Vestax VCI 300. That was the controller I started with, Bapjap. It's a lovely controller, massively, massively out of date now. It'll do the absolute basics, but don't expect anything else and don't pay any decent money for it. But it is a very nice controller. Chris, I love my Prime 4. Especially with the latest update that allows samples and also allows me to use stems on a standalone. Yep, but of course you're using the stems with your software, which is what we're talking about today. Thank you for that. Aspie says, do you think Denon will make a beginner controller, or do you think they'll stick with all-in-ones? No, Denon will not make DJ controllers. They're sticking with all-in-ones. The other brands. So one thing to understand about Denon is that Denon is part of a family of companies that includes Rane and also Numark. So Numark tends to be the entry-level stuff, the controllers and so on. Rane tends to be the very high-end stuff, but again, sticking to controllers. And then Denon is the standalone stuff. again, high end or high-ish end stuff. So that's kind of how they divide that up. But no, I can't see Denon making any DJ controllers. They used to, but for no longer. So is the Denon DJ Prime Go any good, says Imaginary Lines? Yes, it is. It's out of the scope of today's lesson, but yes, it is. It's a good unit. Many people are saying that they're having huge problems with the Flex 10, says Stan. I'm gonna guess, I haven't seen these huge problems that people are talking about, that the problems they're having are with trying to get stems to work, and that's because stems takes an awful lot of processor power. I think the minimum is 16 gigabytes of RAM in order to use stems, and a lot of people's laptops just don't have that, and I don't think it's been communicated massively well. However, the doc says I think that the Flex 10 really needs a firmware update and that should fix it. So let's hope that it does. But apparently there's firmware out there that's absolutely bricking it, that's bricking the system. So the plot thickens. You go away for Easter, you come back, and this is what you find. So we'll look into that. We'll let you know what we find out. So let's grab some more of your queries. This is, again, I'm just going to keep running through the ones on YouTube because our usual chat bot is broken. So sorry if you're on Twitch, but I can't get those comments up at the moment. So this is talking about the software, because remember, it's all about software. It's not about hardware, this. So the software question is mainly Rekordbox versus Serato. Yes, there's Tractor. Yes, there's also Virtual DJ out there. Virtual DJ will work with pretty much anything, and it's very good software, but it's not in the box. You have to go and buy it, whereas the units we're talking about here will unlock the software we've been talking about for them. But mainly Rekordbox and Serato. Your EHL says, I don't like Rekordbox. Serato is for me. Well, it's good to have a choice, isn't it? Zombie Pixel US says, Engine is amazing, which is the standalone stuff we were talking about. I've completely switched from using software to Engine without issue. In Music's software support has been impressive too. So great to hear that. Thanks for sharing your experiences there. So the doc says, any comments on the phono input quality of the 4-channel controllers? All I would say is that the phono input quality has improved on the DDJ Flex 10 from the DDJ 1000, which was the big problem. Most of them are fine. The DDJ 1000 wasn't really that good, but they've improved that on the Flex 10. For full disclosure, we haven't had time to test that. We're just taking Pioneer DJ's word for that. So let's go over, I think, to our other channel, the other big channel, Facebook, in a minute. I'll try and get the comments to come up there. They weren't coming up brilliantly, I've got to admit, a second ago, but I'll try. But before we do, Rocky says, Phil's unmistakable and contagious enthusiasm for this craft and for the tools of the trade make these live sessions addictive. Oh, thank you very much. We do try hard to make them addictive, even if you're watching the recording. Right, I'll try my hardest, but I might not be able to get too many comments up from over on Facebook. I am going to see if I can click through here and see what's there. But yeah, it's annoying that our usual chat bot wasn't working. I am going to not give up right now. Here we go. Let's see what I can find. I think I've got most of them up. So Dave says, I got my eye on that new Pioneer. I want to upgrade from the DDJ 1000, but I'm hearing bad things about the stems quality. Yes, the stems audio quality is not brilliant on Pioneer DJ's Rekordbox at the moment, but it will only improve. If you have Rekordbox, you can test the stems function in performance mode, says Toby, without using a controller. That's true, you can. But Toby also underlines, yes, I have heard better quality stems. Lots of you having complete, like what we call gas gear acquisition syndrome, saying, I want that, I want the Rane, I want the whatever. Selector Shaka says the Roland 707M is the best ever. Yes, and it won't even cost you $1,000, which is why it's not even in this. It's just $999, this one, the Roland 707M. It is a great controller. People get put off this because it's small and light, but it does pretty much everything all the ones I've been showing you now do. And not everyone wants a massive beast of a controller. That's the Roland 707M. There's another one of our live shows that went into the $500 to $1,000 price range. And again, you can go and search for that on the Digital DJ Tips website, find the video, find the article for that as well. Thank you for that, Selector Shaka. Ray says, I quit getting the live notifications when you go live. Darn you, Facebook. Well, we're always live at the same time, 3 p.m. London, 10 a.m. Eastern, Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not here this Thursday, there's a heads up for you, but usually anyway. Ian says, I paid $1,500 for my Prime 4. The box had been opened and it was classed as B stock. I can tell that you're pretty pleased with that. Ian, well done, my friend. Daniel says, this controller is dumb, though you said it yourself. All controllers are dumb. Yes, they are. These are just dumb boxes. They're like a keyboard, but they've just got other controls. Like your keyboard's only got buttons, whereas this has got nice buttons that light up and things that spin and things that slide. But all it's doing is sending the same kind of information back to your computer. Your computer's doing all the work. So when people say my controller doesn't do what I want it to do, it's really normally a software issue. It's normally the software not doing what you want it to do. But yeah, you're very right, Daniel. The controllers are just dumb boxes. It's true. So where is the USB on the SC Prime 4? It is on the Prime 4, it's just on the top right. So Christian, I've had my Prime 4, lots of Prime 4 users here, for 2 to 3 years now, and I'm really loving it. When I'm live streaming on Twitch, I usually use it as a controller with Serato. Yep, it's just easier when multitasking. The only downside to controlling it with Serato is the screen on the Prime 4, because it's when it comes to waveforms. On the screen, the waveform is just a clunky green skyline without any detail. I would love to be able to get normal Serato waveforms shown. Yeah, you know, it's weird that, because as you say, older controllers have got that. And Virtual DJ does really, really well with making those screens sing on the controllers that have got them. So interesting that it doesn't work so well with Serato as far as the screen goes there. Listen, people, I hope you've enjoyed today's live show. If you want to head over to the website and to see the article that supports this show, then go over there to digitaldjtips.com and simply go into the search box and type in something similar to what you're seeing here. So I would say if you just type in 1000, that's going to be good enough. Well, I would say, I know because I did it earlier. There we go. So the 7 best DJ controllers over 1000. And as a bonus, you'll also find that other article I talked about, the best DJ controllers 500 to 1000 as well, that we did quite recently. And there's a video supporting that one. It's a video of the exact same show you're watching now, but for those controllers as well. We've got your back, people. We're here to help. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, if you like Digital DJ Tips, please do join us. You get a free copy of our book. You also get our Tuesday Tips email every week that will help you become a better DJ. It's completely free to join. And if you want to do so, head over to the website, digitaldjtips.com, and just click the join button at the top. It will take you to a page where we tell you about everything we do. You give us your email address and you become part of the community. Can't say fairer than that. We'd love to see you as our latest member. Meanwhile, for me here in the Digital DJ Tips School studio, get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you again very soon. Till then, bye-bye.